Welcome to Story Space, where love meets reality. These are stories of trust broken by ambition, greed, and the quiet hunger for control. When money enters the room, some people forget who they are. In these stories, success doesn't always bring happiness. Sometimes it brings betrayal. Hi, I'm Marcus. I'm 42, and for most of my life, I believed that building someone else's dream alongside your own was what real love looked like. I met Riley at a tech conference in Austin. She was smart, funny, and had this electric kind of presence, the kind that made people lean in when she talked. At the time, I was 34. Running a struggling SaaS startup out of a tiny shared workspace with secondhand furniture and a fridge that moaned louder than my sleep schedule. Riley believed in what I was building. She told me, "You've got something here. You just need the right push." That push turned out to be her quitting her job and jumping into the startup full time. No salary, just belief. We worked side by side, 12-hour days, no weekends. She handled branding, social, and pitching. I handled product and dev. We were partners in every sense. People started noticing us. Investors called. 3 years later, we signed a deal that changed everything. Millions. The company took off. We got married the same year. Small ceremony, just family. I remember thinking, I don't care about the money. I just can't believe I get to build a life with this woman. And then, out of nowhere, 4 months ago, she asked for a break. Not a divorce, just space. She moved out, rented a place downtown, said she needed to figure herself out. 2 weeks later, I found out she'd launched her own startup. Same industry, same investor circle, and 3 of my key employees had resigned and gone to work for her. I sat across from her at a cafe, hands shaking, voice barely steady. "Was this your plan the whole time?" I asked. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You built a platform. I just learned how to stand on it." And she left, just like that. But here's the twist. 6 weeks later, her site went down. Turns out she launched with stolen back-end code, mine. And I had proof. I could have sued. I could have gone nuclear. But I didn't. I sent her an email. Just 5 words. "You're better than this, Riley." No threats, no rage. She never replied, but last week someone anonymously donated $250,000 to a scholarship fund I started for Black founders. Guess who runs that fund? Me.
I'm Melissa, 35. I work in interior design. I've always been the fixer, at home, at work, in every relationship. So when things started unraveling with Eric, I did what I always do. I looked for a way to mend it. We were engaged, wedding planned for September. But lately, he'd grown quiet, not angry, just absent, like his body was here, but his spirit was already checking out. He stopped touching my back in the mornings, stopped laughing at my dumb rom-com jokes, stopped seeing me. So when I found a flyer online for a sacred reconnection retreat in Big Sur, I took it as a sign. Sunrises over redwood forests, breathwork, silent walks, emotional detox. I booked it the same night. Seriously? He raised an eyebrow. Yes, because I'd rather spend 3 days in the woods trying to save this than 6 months silently killing it. He came. The retreat was beautiful. Nestled on a cliffside, wooden cabins with soft white sheets. The air smelled like eucalyptus and cedar. We were surrounded by couples holding hands and crying quietly in circles. Our guide was Sage, calm voice, silver hair, linen robes, and this unnerving habit of holding eye contact just 1 second too long. She smelled like rose oil and baked tea leaves. She led our group through meditations, body scans, journaling prompts like, "What are you afraid to say to the one you love most?" Eric opened up. More than he had in a year. In one session, he said, "I feel like I've been living someone else's life, not mine." Everyone clapped. I blinked back tears. That night, he sat by the fire with Sage, just the two of them. He didn't notice I saw. She touched his hand when she laughed. The third day, he disappeared after morning yoga. I waited for him at breakfast, alone. They came back together, laughing. Hair windswept, matching bracelets Sage had given him, grounding tokens. I couldn't eat. The smoothie in my hand trembled. I found his journal later in our cabin. One line read, "She listens. I feel real around her." My stomach sank. I had offered him everything, my time, my vulnerability, my hope. And now I had paid, literally, for him to emotionally cheat on me. When I confronted him back in San Diego, he didn't yell. He didn't apologize. "I didn't plan for this to happen," he said, "but maybe it's what I needed to finally be honest." He moved out that week, into her guest house. 2 months later, Sage called me. I didn't recognize her number. "Melissa, I'm sorry to call, but I thought you should know." Her voice cracked. "Eric left. He said he felt spiritually smothered, that I was too intense." I listened in silence. That familiar ache returned, dull but steady. She kept talking, about how she crossed a line, how she thought she could hold space for love, how wrong she was. I said only this: "Some of us mistake attention for connection. I hope you learn the difference." That night, I booked another retreat. This time, for one. No wedding ring, no partner, no expectations, just me, a journal, and the woods. And somewhere between the pines and the firelight, I finally realized I don't need to be someone's healing project. I just need to be whole on my own. Before Leo, there was Ben. Ben was tall, magnetic, smooth-talking, the kind of guy who could make a whole room turn when he walked in. I fell hard and fast, thinking I'd hit the jackpot. But the truth? Ben was poison dressed like passion. It started small, canceling dates last minute, rolling his eyes when I cried, calling me dramatic when I wanted to talk. "You're exhausting," he'd say with a sigh. "Just relax." He hated my red lipstick, said it made me look like I was trying too hard. He once made me change clothes before a work party because he didn't like the way a dress fit. I stopped posting on social media because he'd accuse me of looking for attention. When I caught him texting his ex at 2 a.m., he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "If you weren't so clingy, maybe I wouldn't need to." 4 years of this. 4 years of shrinking. 4 years of wondering if I was crazy. When I finally left, I wasn't walking, I was crawling, and I honestly didn't think I had it in me to start over. Leo didn't sweep me off my feet. He steadied them. We met at a birthday party I almost didn't go to. My eyes were still puffy from crying over Ben. He noticed. "Hey," he said, handing me a ginger beer. "You okay?" I shrugged. "Yeah, just learning how to breathe again." He didn't push, just sat next to me the whole night talking about jazz records and conspiracy documentaries. The next morning, he texted, "Still thinking about your kombucha rant. Want to get real drinks sometime?" Our first date? A bookstore cafe. He let me pick a vinyl to play. He told me about losing his mom when he was a kid. I told him about losing myself. He never judged, never rushed. When I flinched walking past a loud construction site, he gently took my hand. When I hesitated before introducing him to friends, he said, "Only if you're ready." He cooked dinner on Wednesdays, left little sticky notes like, "Remember, you're not broken." He remembered I like cinnamon in my coffee, even when I forgot to ask. 6 months in, he moved in. A year later, he proposed while we were making pancakes. Burnt them because he got nervous. I said yes with tears in my eyes. Everyone said, "Jamie, you finally found a good one." I believed them. It was a Friday night. I picked up his favorite sandwiches from the spot down the street. Thought I'd surprise him. I had a key to his place. He gave it to me with a kiss and a, "Now you can come home whenever you want." I walked in. It was quiet, too quiet. The lights were dim. The air smelled like vanilla and jasmine, not my scent, not his. Then I heard it, a laugh, a woman's laugh, coming from the bedroom. I froze. My heart dropped. My fingers tingled. I stepped toward the door. I opened it, and there he was. Leo, my Leo, lying in bed with another woman, his arms around her, her body curled into his. They were kissing, deeply. The paper bag fell from my hand. Sandwiches spilled across the hardwood. A bottle of wine cracked, pouring out like blood. They looked up. She scrambled. He sat up, half-dressed, guilt on his face like sweat. "Jamie, this isn't what you think," he stammered. I just stared. He walked toward me, reaching out. I backed away. "How could you?" I whispered. He looked panicked. "I didn't plan this. It just happened." "Who is she?" He hesitated. "She's just someone I talked to. From the gym." I laughed. It was bitter, broken. "You talk to her naked now?" He ran a hand through his hair, his tell when he didn't know what to say. Used to be endearing. Now, disgusting. I was tired. I felt pressure, always being the strong one for you. I snapped. "You snapped into another woman?" I snapped back. He stepped closer. "It meant nothing. You were everything," I whispered. I pulled off the key from my ring, threw it at his feet. "You don't get to come back from this." I ran. I don't remember how far. I don't even remember crying. Just whined on my face and my lungs burning. When I got home, I collapsed by the door, threw up in the bathroom, looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. At 3 a.m., he showed up, ringing the bell, pounding the door. "Jamie, please, open the door!" I sat in silence. He kept calling out, saying he was sorry, that he loved me, that it didn't mean anything. Finally, I yelled through the door, "Go, away!" He stayed another 10 minutes, then silence. And then I was alone, really alone. But for the first time in months, maybe years, I wasn't scared. Because now I knew I was the safe place. I was the one I needed. And next time someone says, "I'll protect you," they better mean from themselves too.
What do you think? Can love and success truly grow side by side? Or does money change everything, even the people we thought we knew best? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever tried to build something big with someone, only to watch the balance tip too far? We'd love to hear your story. Let's talk about what it really means to share success and still stay in love.